कैसे हो दोस्तों? Obviously, all you can see that are in well condition and very healthy condition. Friends, last part 2 EMI, electromagnetic induction, chapter number 6, physics. You know that very well. In this chapter number 6, electromagnetic induction, we have already covered 2 parts. This is your part number 3. So before moving towards the next point, first of all, we would like to think about some revisional point. Most IMP revisional points like you know that Faraday's law, and by using Faraday's law we discuss some best numericals, chapter number 6, 6.2, 6.3, last lesson 6.2, 6.3, and we derived the supreme relationship between induced charge and change in magnetic flux. You know that this is the supreme formula, और I have written here धूम. ये जो धूम मचाएगा, और उसने already part 2 में धूम मचाना शुरू कर दिया था. So friends, in the last part, that means in part 2, I gave a numerical or question in the form of homework. This is your question. You can see most of students have solved, and those students who have no idea, they can think about here. So you can see there is a charge performs circular motion about circular path of radius r, along circular path of radius r, but initially zero magnetic field is applied, but within 1 second magnetic field is applied from 0 to B. That means magnetic field is changed from 0 to B in 1 second. Then what is the magnitude of induced electric field? This is your question, magnitude of induced electric field. So we have idea about the induced EMF, induced current, induced charge, then power. Now induced magnetic field. So what is the formula of induced EMF? As per Faraday's law, induced EMF is equal to minus d phi by dt. You know that, the rate of change of magnetic flux. But what is the formula of flux? It is AB. You can see that flux phi is equal to AB, area into magnetic field. But this is the EMF. What do you mean by EMF? Chapter number 3. EMF, that means simply the work done required. EMF of battery, work done required in moving unit positive charge from positive pole of the battery towards the negative pole, or from negative pole of the battery towards the positive pole. याद करो. In short, EMF, that means potential. And what is the potential? Potential का दो definition. Chapter number 2. Work done per unit charge. And potential also leads towards the line integration of electric field. So instead of, you can see EMF, I have set up formula of line integration of electric field. Why? Because you target to obtain electric field. This is the supreme conversion. So you can see here electric field remains constant along this. You can see that part, because this each and every point obviously at the same distance from the center. So E already out of integration. What is the integration of dl? It is the length of dl का integration होगा l. What is the l? L is the length of this circular loop. So what is the length of circular loop of radius r? Obviously 2 pi r. Area of this loop. What is the area enclosed by this loop? It is pi r square. dB, you can see the a out of differentiation b, dB. dB by dt, that means the rate of change of magnetic field. So magnetic field is changed from 0 to b. So initially 0 to B, and you can also set up, you can see that like here, if you remove this minus sign, if you consider positive, then B to 0, final to initial, don't worry. In 1 second, so pi cancel, RR cancel. So what is the formula of magnitude of electric field? It is BR by 2, most IMP. This is one type of shortcut, don't forget. ये direct भी याद रखना, very important shortcut for JEE NEET. JEE NEET. JEE का question है. This is, you can see that JEE, but not may, but it is the advanced. JEE advanced 2013. This question already asked in JEE 2013, but in advanced exam. अपन लोग main के लिए भी consider कर सके ऐसा question है. So we have covered it. Supreme, you can see that. Now friends, one more question just in front of you. I will explain the data. Then pause the video and try to solve it. You can see there is a graph, बहुत ही famous. इसको 2021 जैसे examination में भी ध्यान रखना. This is the graph of current versus time. You can see this is the graph of current versus time for a coil having resistance 100 ohm. Here 10 ampere. This point is 0.5 second. So by using this graph and the resistance of coil 100 ohm, find the change in magnetic flux associated with this coil. What's your target? Your target to find change in magnetic flux associated with this coil. If this type of graph of coil or graph of current versus time for coil is given, start. Very IMP question. Don't forget, I can say today lecture point of view, today's lecture point of view supreme. Apply your logic. ओके काफी स्टूडेंट्स ने वीडियो पॉज करके ट्राई की होगी. अब अपन लोग इसको सोल्व करते हैं. यू कैन सी दिस इज द मार्वेलस क्वेश्चन. व्हाई इट इज मार्वेलस क्वेश्चन? सो यू विल गेट आंसर विद इन शॉर्ट टाइम. जस्ट कंसंट्रेशन रिक्वायर्ड. So there is a graph. You can see graph of current versus time. This graph very important for us. Now what is your target? Your target to find change in magnetic flux associated with coil. तो तीन का तिकड़म, रेजिस्टेंस, चार्ज एंड रेजिस्टेंस एंड मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स. अब रेजिस्टेंस और मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स और चार्ज का तिकड़म है. Here either you can see that. So induced charge in coil delta Q is equal to delta phi by R. Supreme formula. So here you would like to find delta phi. So change in magnetic flux, it is R into delta Q. You can see R already with you 100 ohm. So your next target to find charge. So we can easily find charge by using graph. Check the graph. This is the graph of current versus time. So charge, current और time का मैं फंडा देता हूँ. देखो I is equal to dq by dt. If you are thinking about differentiation of charge, this is simply slope. So if you have graph of charge versus time, then you can, if you find slope of the graph, then we can obtain current. अगर charge versus time का ग्राफ दे और उसका slope फाइंड करो तो करंट मिले. But what is the formula of charge? It is simply I dt. Chapter number 3, you know that. So integration leads towards area, differentiation leads towards slope. Here current and time, you can see integration of current time. So this is the graph of current versus time. So integration, then we have to think about area. So area of this graph simply gives idea about charge. So area of graph of current versus time gives idea about charge. So we will find charge. So charge, that means delta Q. Delta Q, that means area enclosed by I versus T graph. Ready? So what is the, we can say that delta phi. You can easily apply concept of delta phi R. What is the R? It is 100 ohm. What is the charge? Charge is the area. What is the area of this triangle? 1/2 into base into altitude, base 0.5, you can see. So we can apply concept of area of triangle. So 2 5 is 10, you can see that. So 100 multiplied by 5, या फिर 10 को रखता हूँ, इधर से 5 by 10 कर देते, 10 कैंसल. So 100 multiplied by 5 divided by 2. So obviously here 55 is 250 Weber. This is the change in magnetic flux. Very important. कोई बोले भाई इतना क्यों चिल्ला रहे, इतना important? ये बहुत ही important इसलिए because it is already asked in NEET 2015. कोई बोले इसमें क्या है? इसमें इसलिए दम है क्योंकि मैंने बोला ये स्वेपिंग होने वाला है. काफी क्वेश्चंस नीट में से एम्स में से नीट में से जेडब्ल्यू में आए हुए हैं. तो ये नीट 2015 में था. फिर यही क्वेश्चन डिट्टो टू डिट्टो डेटा चेंज करके पूछा है जेडब्ल्यू 2017. सो यू कैन सी ये जो मैंने दिया वो जेडब्ल्यू 2017 का क्वेश्चन है. If you think about NEET 2015, then same, but here little bit changing data. So two most time exams, and you can see that the common member NEET 2015, JEE 2017. ऐसा question पूछेंगे area related. Even this type of question can also become part of good setup. So very important point. Once again, you can see that the magic of this equation. Now, friends, we would like to think about one more question, so that you can think about few more practical point, particularly for this ओके, सो हमने डिस्कशन किया। अब मैं एक आध क्वेश्चन आपको देता हूँ, जरा देखो। ओके, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी रिमूव दिस पोर्शन। So concentration required, you can see this chapter very IMP। कुछ लोगों के दिमाग में कुछ क्वेश्चन ये पार्ट में दिखते हैं, क्या है मैं भी बताता हूँ। सो यस, पहला तो पॉइंट ये, अगर आप टेक्स्ट बुक रिलेटेड देखो तो मैंने एक थियरी को स्किप कर दी है, वो है लेंस लॉ। लेंस लॉ चिल्ला के बता रहा है सिंपली whatever the induced EMF is produced, exactly देखा जाए तो लेंस लॉ gives idea about direction of induced EMF। So what is the direction of induced EMF? Induced EMF always in opposite direction of, you can see that reasons किसके reasons? Because of it you can see that produce, जिसके कारण induced EMF produce होगा always उसी की opposites में होता है। Most time पे ये हम लोग एक कहानी थ्रू देखेंगे, बट एट द एंड ऑफ दिस चैप्टर, क्योंकि इसकी थ्योरेटिकल वैल्यू के सिवा कोई इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं है और थियरी भी पूछने के चांसेस बहुत कम है, तो लास्ट में देखेंगे। इसलिए मैंने उसको स्किप करके सीधा नेक्स्ट टॉपिक पे आज जाने की कोशिश करेंगे अपन लोग। मगर थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस देखते हैं, क्वेश्चन बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है जो मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है, सो वी वुड लाइक टू कवर इट। ओके फ्रेंड्स, सो ये शोन इन फिगर, देयर इज अ बार मैग्नेट, दिस इज अ बार मैग्नेट, you can see, ready, and the south and north pole. This bar magnet is moving in this direction, but there is a coil, this is coil, you can see that, and this coil is already in contact with galvanometer. Okay, this type of structure is given, there is a coil is connected with galvanometer, and this is the bar magnet is moving towards the coil. What's the question? Due to this motion of bar magnet, induced EMF is produced, that's why induced current and induced charge in the coil. In this coil, you can see that because of this bar magnet, magnetic field lines, that means magnetic flux associated, but because of the motion of this bar magnet, what happened? Whatever the magnetic field or flux, I can say flux, whatever the magnetic flux associated with the coil get changed. Change in magnetic flux, induced EMF, induced current, induced charge produced in this coil. Okay, then in the coil, what is the induced EMF? Induced EMF epsilon, induced current I, and induced charge Q. ऐसा डेटा बोला है, देखो। Once again, because of the motion of this bar magnet, whatever the magnetic flux associated with the coil get changed. Because of changing magnetic flux, three quantities are produced: induced EMF, induced current, and induced charge inside this coil. Then if the speed of the magnet is doubled, if the speed initially v, now the speed of magnet is doubled to v, पहले v जितनी स्पीड से जा रहा था मैग्नेट, अब उससे डबल स्पीड से जाए, if the speed of the magnet is double, then the incorrect statement is blank. So there are four statements given, A, B, C, D, A. Here A, induced EMF increases, B here induced current increases, C here induced charge increases, and induced charge remains constant is equal, and number D, induced charge decreases. You can see here four options given. If this bar magnet is moving with speed v, but instead of v now it moves with speed 2v towards this coil, then what happens with this coil? Induced EMF increases, induced current increases, induced charge remains constant, or induced charge decreases. Think about it, take your time, pause the video. Okay friends, what happened? Tell me. This is, you can see that very important portion and very important numerical. Tell me the answer about it. Okay, first of all, induced EMF. Obviously, this bar magnet is moving towards this coil, and if you increase the speed, that means because of the speedy motion, what happens? Whatever the magnetic flux associated with the coil changes rapidly. And you know that very well, observation of Faraday's experimental work. If a magnetic flux associated with any coil changes very rapidly, then obviously the value of induced EMF, and that's why induced current increases. So induced EMF increases, induced current increases. But what happened here? You can see these two options are very important for us because of this equation. What is the induced charge? Induced charge delta Q is equal to delta phi by R. And delta phi, you can see what is the formula of magnetic flux? It is AB. So here ultimately, if you observe very carefully, so what is the formula of induced charge? It is AB upon R. You know that. So whatever the charge get induced inside the coil, this charge is independent of velocity. That means if you increase the velocity or if you decrease the velocity, this speed of this bar magnet doesn't affect the induced charge. So obviously charge remains constant. This is the right answer. This is very important numerical for MCQ because it is already asked in EMS 2015. Superb. Sorry, 2011. So very important numerical, no doubt MCQ. तो इसमें दिमाग है, दम है और वापस यही फॉर्मूला पर्दे के पीछे इधर काम कर रहा है. So friends, we have discussed supreme formula related questions. Delta Q is equal to delta phi by R. ये थियरी भी पूछ सकते 2 मार्क्स में, ऑलरेडी एनसीईआरटी में है. मैंने जो लास्ट टाइम बोला था, क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते obtain the formula of, obtain the relationship between induced charge and change in magnetic flux. So these 4 points are very IMP, and we have discussed most IMP questions based on this equation also. Last lecture 6.13 देखना, वो भी IMP, उसके related NEET 2017 देखा हमने. Superb. Now friends, we would like to think about one more important topic. एक और टॉपिक शुरू करते हैं. अब सीट बेल्ट बांध लेना. आज जो टॉपिक है उसका मेन हीरो अब यही है. It is called simply the motional EMF, not emotional but motional EMF. Okay friends, so be alert. Most important, ये थियरी 2021 के लिए लिख दो. अगर इस चैप्टर 6 में से मुझे कोई बोले कि सर मुझे 4-5 थियरीज करके जानी है, तो मैं ऑलवेज ये थियरी सजेस्ट करता हूँ लोगों को. सो डोंट फॉरगेट, it is very IMP. So we'll start with the most important topic, motional EMF. Superb. And I will write here 2021 2 marks or 3 marks theory. Damn sure chapter 6 करो और उसमें से important theories ही सिलेक्ट करनी हो तो ऑलवेज यही थियरी सिलेक्ट पहले करने की. इसके पूछने के चांसेस 100% बनेंगे. डोंट फॉरगेट. ओके फ्रेंड्स, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय मोशनल EMF? नाम ही काफी है, मोशनल. दैट मींस EMF is produced. Why EMF is produced? You know that very well. Induced EMF is produced due to change in magnetic flux. Magnetic flux associated with any coil or closed circuit. So if you change the magnetic flux due to motion of body and EMF is produced, then it is called motional EMF. So motional EMF, that means EMF is produced in any conductor or in any closed circuit due to motion of this conductor or body, then it is called motional EMF. So keep in mind, EMF is produced due to change in magnetic flux, but magnetic flux is changed due to motion of the body, then it is called motional EMF. एक बार लास्ट फाइनल, कोई भी बॉडी की मोशन के कारण उसके साथ मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स चेंज हो और उसमें इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ प्रोड्यूस हो, उसको कहते हैं मोशनल ईएमएफ. सो कीप इन माइंड, whenever you are dealing with word like motional EMF, then don't forget motion, we can say, that plays very important role in producing EMF. Okay friends, to understand or to derive the formula, we would like to think about one diagram. You can see there is a U-shaped conducting wire is shown in this diagram. This is U-shaped conducting wire. It is already placed inside the magnetic field. These are the magnetic field lines, and this all the crosses or cross lines simply representing the magnetic field lines going inside the plane of this paper, or I can say that board is there. And inside this magnetic field, this type of U-shaped conducting wire is already kept. Now there is a rod. You can see this is rod. And this is the conducting rod is shown in this diagram. This conducting rod slides, if you think about this direction, this conducting rod slides over these two arms of U-shaped conducting wire, like this one. Okay, there is, just a minute. You can see these are the two arms and there is rod, and this rod slide like in this way, you can see. Ready? So this rod slides over these two arms of U-shaped conducting wire. This is, you can see that PQ simple, or this is PQRS. There is one loop. You can see this is rectangular type loop. If you set up this rod just away from this wire, काफी लोगों को स्क्वायर लगेगा, but if you consider, suppose मैं टेक्स्ट बुक के मुताबिक, वरना काफी लोगों को क्या प्रॉब्लम ये होता है. So we'll consider rod somewhere here, no problem. You can see this is rod. Now you can consider this is PQRS rectangular loop. So PQRS rectangular loop is formed, you can see. And this conducting rod slides over these two arms with velocity V. But what is the peculiar characteristics of this velocity? Constant. This rod slides with constant velocity over these two arms of U-shaped conducting wire. And ऐसे जा रहा है देखो, with constant velocity V. Okay friends, whenever this rod, suppose one position, suppose this rod is situated here, at that time photograph is taken, let the distance of this rod from this R point is suppose X, and this distance RS is suppose L. So now what is the length of this rectangular L and what is the breadth X? Length X, breadth L, whatever you point. So there is a PQRS rectangular loop. Loop is formed because of this conducting rod. This conducting rod slides over these two arms with constant velocity V. अगर ये बंदा constant velocity के इस साइड जाता होगा तब इसके ऊपर एक फोर्स लगता होगा. थियरी सुप्रीम है, फंडामेंटली पढ़ना तो ज्यादा पता चलेगा. This rod is sliding in this direction, then one force is acting in opposite direction of the motion of this rod. And what is the name of this force? No idea about this force. This is called secret force. You can see secret force is acting. Why it is called secret force? Because we have no idea about the name of this force and what is the reason. किसी को पता नहीं है क्या चल रहा है. So that's why it is called secret force. And we will open the secret about the secret force after delta t time. Don't worry. So this rod slides over the two arms with velocity v, and there is a PQRS rectangular loop. You can see PQRS loop already inside the magnetic field. And here continuously, if you observe very carefully, whatever the magnetic flux associated with this PQRS loop continuously changing. How can you say the magnetic flux associated with this loop continuously changes? Anybody think about it? क्यों ये जो PQRS loop है उसका magnetic flux continuously change हो रहा है? Yes, because whenever this rod slides, this PQ rod slides with constant velocity v, then area associated with this loop continuously decreases. You can see area changes. पहले इधर rod था, इधर आएगा इधर. So change in area. So magnetic flux changes. So first of all, we would like to write few points. No doubt, assignment theory में pamphlet दूंगा उसमें तो है फिर भी. Here, first of all, magnetic flux associated with rectangular loop PQRS is magnetic flux phi is equal to area of loop multiplied by magnetic field. You know that very well. What is the formula of flux? Area multiplied by magnetic field. Area covered by this PQRS loop and magnetic field. So what is the area? Area covered by this rectangular loop. It is length into breadth. So we'll write here RS is equal to L and RQ is equal to X. You can see X. RQX, RS, L. So area of loop, it is length into breadth, and magnetic field here B. So this is the magnetic flux. So magnetic flux associated with this PQRS loop for the position of this rod, it is simply B into L into X. This is the magnetic flux associated with this closed PQRS loop. Observe very carefully, this flux continuously changes. Why? Because B constant, no doubt, length constant, no doubt. But think about this X. As this rod moves, or I can say slides, this rod slides over these two arms, then continuously the value of X decreases. X changes. Change in X, obviously it gives idea about, you know that very well. Changing X, that means changing flux. So we write is rod PQ slides. So value of X changes. So magnetic flux associated with PQRS loop also changes, you can see. But change in magnetic flux, Faraday तो कभी जाएगा नहीं. Change in magnetic flux. Magnetic flux changes, that means induced EMF. So as per Faraday's law, whatever the induced EMF produced with this coil or loop, it is given by minus d phi by dt. You can see. Once again minus sign, don't worry, minus sign simply represent Lenz's law जो अपन लोग देखने वाले हैं. So epsilon is equal to d phi by dt. What is the value of phi? Phi already we have found BLX. So we'll write here B into L into X. But B constant, L constant. So only differentiation of distance X. चलो ये question बहुत आएंगे. What is the differentiation of distance with respect to time? If you take differentiation of distance with respect to time, it gives, anybody? If you take differentiation of distance with respect to time, it gives speed. Don't say velocity. Okay, so epsilon is equal to BLV, and this is the marvelous equation we have derived. This is called धूम formula. ये भी धूम मचाने वाला. It is called motional EMF. Why this EMF is produced? Because of the motion of this rod inside the magnetic field. That's why it is called motional EMF, because here motion is responsible behind the production, or we can say behind the origin of this EMF. That's why it is called motional EMF. Supreme. You can see here motional EMF depends upon the intensity of magnetic field, length of rod, and obviously speed of very IMP. But don't forget few factors. ये diagram में few factors देखना. Number one, this is your rod. You can see this is your rod. This rod sliding in this direction. So what is the direction of velocity? This is the direction of velocity. Ready? What is the direction of magnetic field? Magnetic field going inside. This is magnetic field. This is your rod, and this is velocity. You can see. So these three physical quantities already perpendicular to each other. ये होना ही चाहिए. This is length of rod, velocity of rod, and intensity of magnetic field. These three are perpendicular to each other. Very important point. Don't forget. And here this rod slides because of the sliding motion, or because of the sliding of rod. Continuously area associated with this loop decreases, or I can say changes. अगर इस सेट जाता तो change होता, increase होता. इसलिए अपन लोग use करेंगे change. So here X changes, so obviously flux changes. So first of all we have obtained magnetic flux associated with this PQRS loop. But this is the formula of flux. What is the length? L, breadth X, simply area of loop, LX, BLX. But here X, as rod PQ slides, so value of X changes. Change in X, so obviously magnetic flux associated with PQRS loop also changes. Change in magnetic flux. So as per Faraday's law, induced EMF epsilon is equal to d phi by dt. Here we have neglected minus sign, don't worry. So epsilon d of dt BLX, BL constant, differentiation of distance with respect to time. What is the differentiation of distance with respect to time? Speed. So this is your answer. So from today, any body, especially conductor, you can see any conducting body passing through magnetic field, especially rod. So this conducting rod passing through magnetic field with certain velocity v, having length L, then whatever the EMF is produced, it is called motional EMF. And what is the formula of this motional EMF? It is BLV. Very important. Analyze this theory. Damn sure for 2021 you can see that here I have represented on 2021. Damn sure. इधर अपन लोग लिखेंगे ये जो डायग्राम का रिप्रेजेंटेशन. This is the logic behind the EMF. Analyze, friends. Very important. Okay, now we would like to think about one MCQ based on it. मैं आपको एक क्वेश्चन दे रहा हूँ. Okay, obviously you have to write. अगर आपके पास अभी पेन पेंसिल ना हो तो आप समझो कि आपने लोचे मारे. So what is the question? Write down a glass rod of length 10 centimeter. A glass rod of length 10 centimeter passing through magnetic field of 10 gauss. देखो मैं डेटा टिपिकल दे रहा हूँ. Glass rod of length 10 centimeter passing through magnetic field of 10 gauss with velocity 20 centimeter per second. Velocity 20 centimeter per second. Centimeter नहीं sorry mm per second. देखो तीन अलग अलग पॉइंट. Length of rod 20 centimeter. Magnetic field already. You can see magnetic field already 10 gauss. And what is the velocity of this glass rod? It is 20 mm per second. Then what is the induced EMF produced in it? Find out the motional EMF produced in it. Once again, a glass rod of length 10 centimeter passing through magnetic field of 10 gauss and with a velocity 20 mm per second. Then what is the motional EMF produced in it? Think about it, friends. Very important. चलो सोचो. आंसर काफी लोगों को आना चाहिए. कैल्सी के लिए मैं टाइम देने वाला हूँ क्योंकि इसमें सेंटीमीटर है, mm है, गॉस है. So there are lots of you can see that conversion required, and because of this conversion, this numerical become one of the typical one. Okay, रहने दो. आंसर क्या आ रहा है anybody? काफी लोगों के आंसर्स अलग अलग आते होंगे या सेम. But only one answer 0. This is the very interesting point. Why answer 0? काफी लोगों ने B की वैल्यू रखी, L की वैल्यू रखी, V की वैल्यू रखी, but it is not possible here at all. Why? Because here a glass rod is given. Glass. Here conducting rod is required. Keep in mind conducting rod passing through magnetic field, then and then induced EMF is produced. Here what happened? Here glass rod is given. There is no induced EMF at all. Answer 0. So friend, this is the most important point we have discussed. Now we would like to think about some very interesting, some secreting point or secrets point about this entire theory. काफी लोगों के दिमाग में क्वेश्चन आता है कि ऐसा एक पकुड़िया जैसा कंडक्टिंग रोड सिर्फ मैग्नेटिक फील्ड में से पास होगा तो ईएमएफ कैसे प्रोड्यूस करेगा. अल्टीमेटली देखा जाए तो ये जो कंडक्टिंग रोड है वो कंडक्टिंग रोड नहीं है. This type of conducting rod passing through magnetic field, then this conducting rod simply behaves like a battery. ये बैटरी बन गया क्योंकि ये ईएमएफ प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है. इस बैटरी का ईएमएफ इतना होगा. तो ये बैटरी और ईएमएफ क्यों प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है उसको अब समझने के लिए एक्स्ट्रा एक पॉइंट शुरू करते हैं. नाउ वी डिस्कस व्हाई ओरिजिन ऑफ ईएमएफ और इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ और मोशनल ईएमएफ. जस्ट चेक इट. बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. इसके 3 पड़ाव है. उसमें से पहला पड़ाव हमने पार किया जो सबसे आईएमपी. What is the we can say the most IMP theory here in this entire discussion of motional EMF? There are 3 theories. Number 1, obtain the formula of motional EMF. Now we would like to discuss number 2. Number 2 भी बोर्ड में एक बार आ चुका है. Explain the origin behind induced EMF. So you can see these are the magnetic field lines going inside this plane of this board, and this is your conducting rod PQ. here देखो इधर. रेडी. अब मैंने कोई U shaped आर्म नहीं रखा है, वाटर दिया, ऐसा कोई जरूर नहीं है. This is the conducting rod. This conducting rod already passing through magnetic field with velocity v. देखो ये rod इस साइड जा रहा है. What is the speed or velocity of this rod? V. This is the conducting rod. Tell me the constituent particles of the conducting rod. Obviously free electrons and positive ions. In short, you know that very well because of world conducting, this rod possess free electrons. In short, I can say charged particle Q already present inside it. मैं इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, सिर्फ चार्ज्ड पार्टिकल ले रहा हूँ. Don't worry. Okay, you can also consider electron. Don't worry. So this is charged particle inside or charge carrier inside this conducting rod PQ. But this PQ already moving with velocity v. So obviously this charged particle also moving with velocity v. अगर आप कोई बस में बैठे हो और बस 20 मीटर पर सेकंड की स्पीड से जा रही, मतलब आपकी स्पीड 20 मीटर पर सेकंड है. Similarly, this PQ rod behaves like a bus and Q simply like a passenger. So whatever the speed of rod, the same speed of this passenger, that means charge. In short, this charge is moving or passing through magnetic field with velocity v. What is the intensity of magnetic field? It is B. याद करो चैप्टर नंबर 4 पार्ट नंबर 1, तब मैंने डिस्कस किया था एनी चार्ज्ड पार्टिकल पासिंग थ्रू मैग्नेटिक फील्ड विथ वेलोसिटी v, then one force is acting on it. What is the force? It is F is equal to Q into V cross B. In short, this charged particle experience some force. What is the force? It is Q into V cross B. So how can you find direction of this force? This force always perpendicular to the plane formed by V and B, and we have to apply concept of right hand screw rule. चलो ये रहा V, ये रहा B, रखता हूँ screw, देखो ऐसे ये रखा. Now rotate the screw from V to B. You can see if you rotate the screw, sorry, ऐसे घुमाना है. You can see V to B. So if you rotate the screw from V to B, moves in down direction. So force is acting in down direction. So this is the direction of force. Under the effect of this force, this all charged particles accumulated here. If you consider electrons, then what happens? Chalo, instead of this charge, suppose we are considering electrons, then what happens? Then the direction of this force get reversed. Why? Because of negative charged particle, negative sign of electron, this force not acting towards Q, but now it is acting in the direction of P. तो अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन होता तो फोर्स ऊपर लगता तो सभी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स इधर अक्यूमुलेट होंगे, क्योंकि अंडर द इफेक्ट ऑफ फोर्स ऑल इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स पॉइंट P. इधर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आ जाते हैं, ऑल इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर अक्यूमुलेटेड एट पॉइंट P. सो हियर पॉजिटिव चार्ज गेट ओपन और नॉट. देखो अगर हमने पॉजिटिव चार्ज लिया होता तो भी पॉजिटिव चार्ज इधर और इलेक्ट्रॉन इधर, नो प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल. इन शॉर्ट दिस Q एंड behaves like a positive pole of the battery or as a positive electrode. Here negative charge is accumulated at this point P. So this is called negative electrode. Now if you measure the potential difference across these 2 points P and Q, so you can get some potential. ये दोनों के बीच में potential difference develop होगा. अगर आप देखो ये दोनों एंड को कोई वायर से कनेक्ट कर दो, if these two ends of this PQ rod is connected by means of wire, then what happens? Circuit is completed because this PQ rod now behaves like a battery. This is positive pole of the battery, this is negative pole of the battery, and current flows from positive to negative like in this way, and this is you can see that a current carrying rod. Superb. तो अब ये बैटरी बनने का रीजन पता चला. इधर चार्जेस अक्यूमुलेट हुए. क्यों चार्जेस अक्यूमुलेट हुए? वेलोसिटी के कारण फोर्स के कारण अक्यूमुलेशन. तो ये जो रोड, एक कंडक्टिंग रोड जब मैग्नेटिक फील्ड में से पास हो रहा था तो ये बन जाता है बैटरी. क्यों बैटरी बना उसकी पूरी कहानी हमने डिस्कस की. एंड दिस एंड बिहेव्स लाइक अ नेगेटिव टर्मिनल ऑफ द बैटरी and this Q end behaves like a positive terminal of the battery. This is your battery and this conducting rod behaves like a battery. So this is the reason behind the origin of EMF. तो अगर ये बैटरी बनेगा, ये PQ रोड अगर V जितनी वेलोसिटी से मैग्नेटिक फील्ड में से पास हो रहा हो तो ऑब्वियसली ये बैटरी बन गया. And if this rod behaves like a battery, then what is the EMF of it? That means what is the potential difference across these two terminals of the battery? It is equal to BLV. तो अगर ये रोड का लेंथ L हो, वो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड B में से V जितनी वेलोसिटी से पास होगा तो ये रोड बैटरी के तौर पे काम करे. और इस रोड के ये दोनों एंड्स के अक्रॉस अगर आप पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस मेजर करोगे तो इतना पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस होगा BLV जितना. सुपर. तो ये बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी फ्रेंड्स, यू कैन सी. मगर हम लोगों ने इधर एक बात रखी थी, सीक्रेट फोर्स. अब अपन लोग इसका तीसरा सेगमेंट शुरू करने जा रहे हैं. फर्स्ट सेगमेंट फॉर्मूला ऑफ मोशनल ईएमएफ. ये पूछेंगे मोस्ट टाइम कि ऑब्टेन द फॉर्मूला ऑफ मोशनल ईएमएफ by considering appropriate example. तो ये example आ गया. And then you have to think about the second theory. Explain the origin of induced EMF for conducting rod passing through magnetic field. तो ये कहानी इसकी सुपर. और अब तीसरी कहानी है जोरदार. Simply you can see the law of conservation. This is simply the technical study, so be alert about it. Now we start the third segment. Okay, मैं बारी बारी दोनों रिवाइज करता हूँ. पहले एक बार अच्छी तरह देख लो आप ये डायग्राम. Okay friends, so now we'll start the third segment. First segment, whenever conducting rod slides over these two arms of U-shaped conducting wire, then this rod simply produce EMF. It is called Motional Emf, and the formula of this Motional Emf is given by equation BLV. Chalo ready? What is the reason that this EMF is produced? Because of the motion, charged particle experience some force, accumulation of charges, and EMF is developed, you can see. Now we have to think about third point. Third point thoda interesting hai, so be alert about it. Just concentration required. This rod slides over these two arms of U-shaped conducting wire. This is, you can see the sliding procedure, and this rod slides over these two arms with constant velocity, constant. मगर मैंने पहले बोला whenever this rod slides, then one force is acting on it. What is the name of this force? Secret force, because we have no idea about it. That's why we gave a special name, secret force. A secret force, and this secret force acting in opposite direction of this velocity. So there is a problem. Why? Because we would like to maintain this word. Here constant word is required. That means we would like to slide this rod with constant velocity. But because of this secret force, what happened? This rod, you can see that experience some force in opposite direction. So velocity doesn't remain constant. मगर मुझे तो इस रोड की velocity कुछ भी हो constant ही रखनी है. In any situation, I would like to maintain this velocity constant. कोई बोले सर वो तो कैसे हो सकता है? वही क्वेश्चन मैं आपको पूछ रहा हूँ. This one is the rod, slides with constant velocity v in this direction. Secret force is acting in opposite direction. If I would like to maintain this velocity constant, what I have to do? Think. तो obviously जितना secret force लग रहा है उतना force अगर ये direction में लग जाए तो ready हो जाए, because the secret force is balanced by this force. तो अपने को external force applied करना पड़ेगा. This is the external force is applied on this rod such that this external force can be balanced or can balance this secret force, and this rod can slide with constant velocity. मगर एक और पॉइंट इसमें चल रहा है. देखो ये जो रोड है जब स्लाइड हो रहा है, अभी हमने बोला कोई भी कंडक्टिंग रोड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड में से पास हो तो ये कंडक्टिंग रोड तो बैटरी बन जाएगा. तो ये रोड तो बैटरी बन गए. This is, you can see the negative pole of the battery. This is positive pole of the battery, and you can see here already circuit is completed. You know that to make the circuit complete, negative and positive end should be connected by means of wire. Here already connection or connecting wire take place. Check it. Positive already in contact with negative because of this U-shaped conducting wire. तो ये U-shaped conducting wire के कारण you can see circuit is completed. What happened? If circuit is completed, definitely current flows. तो current यहाँ से शुरू होगा. This is current, you can see, and this current also flows in this direction. So you can see now this rod, not an ordinary rod, but this is current carrying rod. तो ये current carrying rod बन गया. ये देखो ये rod इधर इधर flow कर रहा है. This is your current carrying rod. This is the direction of current. What is the length of rod? L. And what is the direction of magnetic field? Magnetic field going inside. So what happened? You know that chapter number 4. देखो मैंने बोला सभी chapters का value जैसे जैसे आगे जाओगे ऐसे ऐसे बढ़ता जाएगा. In chapter number 4 part 2, analyze. Any current carrying rod of length L is placed in magnetic field or uniform magnetic field, then force is acting on this rod or force is experienced by this rod. Tell me the formula of this force. You know that very well. It is IL cross B. Yeah. So this is current carrying rod because of the completion of circuit. This current carrying rod already inside the magnetic field. So obviously it experience some force. What's the direction of this force? इतना force इसके ऊपर लग रहा है देखो ये. So I would like to find direction. तो IL और B चाहिए मुझे. This is IL. You can see. and this is your magnetic field B. Now keep a screw and rotate the screw from IL to B. Here IL, this is your IL. So rotate the screw from IL to B. You can see like in this way. So this screw already definitely moves out. So this is the direction of force. तो ये कौन सा फोर्स है? ये यही फोर्स है, ये जो सीक्रेट फोर्स है, ये फोर्स है. दिस इज कॉल्ड लेंस फोर्स. Why? Because again lens word है मतलब opposite direction. So you can see that this lens force, now we have already opened the secret of this force. This secret force is called lens force. What is the formula of this secret force? IL cross B. This force is acting in this direction. Why? Now you understand the entire story. Because of this lens force, we can't maintain the velocity constant. So how can you maintain the velocity constant? By applying external force. Why we have to apply external force? Obviously to maintain velocity constant and to nullify the effect of this lens force. तो इसलिए जितना lens force है उसका मैग्नीट्यूड क्या होगा? ILB. उतना फोर्स ये डायरेक्शन में अपन लोग लगाएंगे, मगर एक्सटर्नली. तो ये पूरी कहानी अभी शुरू है, अभी पूरा नहीं हुआ. ये पूरी कहानी वापस देखते हैं. सबसे पहले ये कंडक्टिंग रोड स्लाइड हो रहा था कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी के साथ. तब मैंने बताया जब ये रोड स्लाइड हो रहा है तब उसकी ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में एक फोर्स लग रहा है. आपने पूछा कौन सा फोर्स, कैसा फोर्स? मैंने बोला मुझे पता नहीं है, इसलिए उसको हमने नाम बोला सीक्रेट फोर्स. तो ये सीक्रेट फोर्स लग रहा है. फिर अब अपन लोग वो सीक्रेट फोर्स का सीक्रेट ओपन करने जा रहे हैं. जैसे ही रोड स्लाइड हो रहा है ऐसे ये रोड है बन जाएगा बैटरी. बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रीजन बैटरी बनेगा. तो ये पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रीजन. अगर पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव कंडक्टिंग वायर से जुड़ जाए तो इधर तो जुड़े हुए हैं देखो, बिकॉज ऑफ यूज ऑफ कंडक्टिंग वायर. तो सर्किट कंप्लीट हो गई, करंट फ्लो होना शुरू हो गया. तो अब ये रोड में से करंट फ्लो हो रहा है. तो दिस इज करंट कैरिंग रोड ऑलरेडी इनसाइड द मैग्नेटिक फील्ड. तो करंट कैरिंग रोड इनसाइड द मैग्नेटिक फील्ड एक्सपीरियंस सम फोर्स. दिस इज द फॉर्मूला ऑफ दिस फोर्स. और ये डायरेक्शन है उसका फोर्स का. ये जो फोर्स लग रहा है, ये जो करंट कैरिंग रोड जो स्लाइड हो रहा है, उसको कहते हैं लेंस फोर्स. अब ये सीक्रेट फोर्स का नाम हमने दे दिया लेंस फोर्स. और ये फोर्स का सीक्रेट खुल गया. ये सीक्रेट फोर्स मतलब ये लेंस फोर्स होगा. और ये लेंस फोर्स को हमें हटाना पड़ेगा या उसको नलिफाई करना पड़ेगा या बैलेंस करना पड़ेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि लेंस फोर्स है, अगर लगे तो वेलोसिटी कांस्टेंट ना रहे. तो कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी रखने के लिए लेंस फोर्स जितना फोर्स एक्सटर्नली अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा इन ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन ऑफ लेंस फोर्स. तो ये जो एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अपन लोग लगाएंगे वो भी कितना होगा? ILB जितना. तो हम तो अब एक्सटर्नल फोर्स लगा रहे हैं. एंड इफ यू अप्लाई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स दैट मींस यू आर सिंपली प्रोवाइडिंग सम वर्क. And because of work there is some mechanical power. So mechanical power is supplied or given to this rod. You can see that. So now we would like to calculate mechanical power. So what is the mechanical power? Mechanical power denoted by TEM. This is simply F into V. What is the formula of mechanical power? F into V. Force into velocity. याद करो. Most IMP formula F into V. Chapter number 6th standard 11th work power energy, force into velocity. What is the force acting by you externally? It is ILB. So ILB into V, this is your mechanical power. But what do you mean by current? Here I is the current and I would like to find current. What is the formula of current? It is epsilon by R. Epsilon is the EMF. What is the EMF produced if this rod behaves like a battery? It is BLV. That the R is the resistance. In your textbook it is given small r, so we will consider small r. तो इतना करंट इसमें से पास हो रहा होगा अगर इस रोड का रेजिस्टेंस R है. काफी स्टूडेंट्स ऐसा क्वेश्चन अराइज करते हैं कि सर ये जो ब्रांच है वो भी मेटल की बनी हुई, तो उसका रेजिस्टेंस. वी हैव कंसीडर्ड द रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ दिस 3 पोर्शन ऑलमोस्ट नेग्लिजिबल एज कंपेयर टू रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ दिस कंडक्टिंग वायर. डोंट वरी. तो सिर्फ इसका रेजिस्टेंस लेंगे R. अब ये वैल्यू इधर रख दूं. सो व्हाट इज द मैकेनिकल पावर? I की जगह BLV अपॉन R मल्टीप्लाई बाय BLV. सो व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला ऑफ मैकेनिकल पावर? दिस इज B स्क्वायर L स्क्वायर V स्क्वायर बाय R. आप इतना मैकेनिकल पावर दे रहे हो इस रोड को, तो वापस क्वेश्चन दिमाग में उठेगा कि सर मैकेनिकल पावर दिया, सो एज पर लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन व्हाटएवर द वर्क इज डन, where this work we can say the boss, where we have to think about the transformation. तो ये मैकेनिकल पावर अपन लोग मैकेनिकल वर्क कर रहे हैं तो ये मैकेनिकल पावर गया कहाँ पे? So this mechanical power is converted in the form of electrical power and get dissipated in the form of heat. So now I would like to obtain the formula of this dissipated power. So electrical power or dissipated power. Okay. So what is the formula of dissipated power? It is I square R. You know that very well. I square R. But what is I? It is already B square L square V square by R. So instead of I can write B square L square V square by R square into R cancel. So power dissipation, it is B square L square V square or electrical power upon R. You can see. So check this both equation. Mechanical power 100% transform in the form of electrical power. यानी हम लोग इस रोड को कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी के साथ अगर स्लाइड करवाना चाहे तो हमें कंटिन्यूअसली इतना मैकेनिकल पावर देना पड़े, और जो मैकेनिकल पावर अपन लोग देंगे वो इलेक्ट्रिकल पावर में अपने को ट्रांसफॉर्म के मिलेगा। जनरली ऐसा होता नहीं है। आइडियल सिचुएशन में इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल। व्हाई? बिकॉज वी हैव नेग्लेक्टेड हियर मेनी फैक्टर्स। फॉर एग्जांपल रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ दिस थ्री ब्रांचेस, we have neglected friction behind or between, we can say, the rod and U-shaped arms. So lots of factors we have neglected. Ultimately मैकेनिकल पावर अपन लोग जो देंगे उससे कम इलेक्ट्रिकल पावर अपने को मिलेगा, क्योंकि कुछ इलेक्ट्रिकल पावर चला जाएगा। सो दिस इज कॉल्ड लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनर्जी सुप्रीम। जो हम लोग एक्सटर्नल फोर्स दे रहे हैं उससे हम मैकेनिकल वर्क कर रहे हैं, और जो मैकेनिकल वर्क हो रहा है, व्हाई दिस मैकेनिकल वर्क हियर वी आर applying, or I can say that doing it is only for maintaining constant velocity. तो ये मैकेनिकल वर्क के इलेक्ट्रिकल पावर के फॉर्म में मिल रहा है। मास्टरपीस, यू कैन सी, सुपर। तो ये तीन का तिकड़म याद रखना है। नंबर 1, obtain the formula of motional EMF by considering appropriate example, and you have to derive the formula of epsilon is equal to BLV. Then you have to think about explanation of origin of induced EMF or motional induced EMF, and third case the conservation of energy in the case of motional EMF. Super. ये तीसरा केस न्यूमेरिकल MCQs के लिए बहुत आएंगे. So you can see. Now next point. What happened here? I have explained A to Z. Just revise the videos at least 1 or 2 times. Then you can make your fundamental clearance definitely. But friends, this type of equation can also be derived in डिफरेंट वे। फॉर एग्जांपल इधर हमने एप्सिलॉन इज इक्वल टू BLV फॉर्मूला डिराइव किया था मोशनल EMF, ये एग्जांपल लेके सबसे पहला थ्योरी, मगर ये इक्वेशन दूसरी तरीके से भी डिराइव किया जा सकता है। फॉर एग्जांपल दिस इज, यू कैन सी दैट चार्ज, ये चार्ज का रोड जैसे ही मोशन करेगा चार्ज के ऊपर फोर्स लगता था, याद करो फोर्स QVB, ये रहा फोर्स। अंडर द इफेक्ट ऑफ दिस फोर्स चार्ज फ्लोज फ्रॉम, यू कैन सी दैट वन एंड टू अदर एंड। तो ये चार्ज को यहाँ से यहाँ पे, या उल्टा सोचो यहाँ से यहाँ ले जाना हो तो ऑब्वियसली वी हैव टू डू सम वर्क। सो व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला ऑफ वर्क डन? वर्क डन इज फोर्स इनटू डिस्प्लेसमेंट। फोर्स कितना कर रहे हैं अपन लोग F, डिस्प्लेसमेंट कितना होगा L जितना, लेंथ जितना, रेडी। बट व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला ऑफ द फोर्स एक्टिंग ऑन दिस चार्ज? इट इज QVBL, याद है QVB। ओके, नाउ वी वुड लाइक टू फाइंड इंड्यूस्ड EMF। व्हाट इज द जनरल मीनिंग ऑफ EMF? EMF that means potential, and potential that means work done per unit charge. So set up the value of work done QVBL upon charge का cancel. So once again you can see that induced EMF just in front of you. This is another method to derive the formula of motional EMF, but you have to explain this one. This is very IMP and ideal for 2 marks 3 marks. So friends, A to Z of motional EMF we have discussed. Most IMP formula epsilon is equal to BLV. What is the current passing through this conducting wire? It is BLV upon R. What is the mechanical power? It is B square L square V square by R. Or for ideal situation, mechanical power is equal to electrical power B square L square V square upon R. So analyze masterpiece. What is the meaning of this secret force? It is simply called Lenz's force. It is always in opposite direction of motion. Analyze friends, supreme. Okay, so you can see very important question we have discussed very important portion, और ये तीनों तीन थियरीज अच्छी तरह देखो तो टेक्स्ट बुक में दी हुई है। तो ये तीनों तीन पोर्शन को बेहतरीन तरीके से प्रिपेयर करना फ्रेंड्स, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि ये जो 2021 है वो सही ना हो जाए, वेरी IMP, और ये दूसरा भी मोस्ट IMP। मगर स्टैंडर्ड स्टूडेंट्स ये दोनों तीनों करे, मगर एवरेज बिलो एवरेज को तो मेरी विनती है तो कर ही दे। मोस्ट टाइम की थियरी, ऑब्टेन द फॉर्मूला ऑफ मोशनल ईएमएफ। ओके, तो अपन लोग अब इसके रिलेटेड एक आध दो एमसीक्यू डिस्कस करते हैं एंड देन वी वुड लाइक टू थिंक अबाउट नेक्स्ट पॉइंट। तो अब ये जरा देखते हैं मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट, हमें कुछ क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करते हैं अपन लोग जेडब्ल्यू नीट रिलेटेड and also NCERT. Next part definitely we'll think about A to Z about motional EMF. Part number 4 we'll discuss 100% in terms of numericals, JEE NEET questions of motional EMF. So try to solve one question, definitely very important. So okay, so one question. It is already from NEET. A straight line conductor of length 0.4 meter. Length 0.4 meter. A straight line conductor of length 0.4 meter is moved with a speed of 7 meter per second. 7 meter per second. Ready? What is the speed of this rod? 7 meter per second. It is already passing perpendicular to magnetic field with intensity 0.9 Weber per meter square. What is the intensity for magnetic field? 0.9 meter, 0.9 Weber per meter square or Tesla. Then what is the induced EMF across the conductor? This is already asked in NEET 1998. NEET question, बहुत easy. Obviously BVL given, so we'll apply this concept. Epsilon is equal to BVL. All values of BVL given, set up the values, and if you simplify, then you will get definitely 2.52 volt answer. Okay, बहुत easy question, but we have considered it, don't worry. So friends, in next part, now be ready. This is theoretically very strong. Theoretically I can say the master questions we have discussed, and few very important JEE NEET questions of delta Q is equal to delta phi by R related. Next part, only JEE NEET and NCERT based solution based on motional EMF. होमवर्क में तीन थियरीज खास करनी है, मोस्ट IMP, so don't forget. Okay, be safe and be alert. Thank you friends.